Brothers has begun to engage in some fourth wall breaking marketing for their upcoming film Batman v Superman. Real life trade Fortune magazine recently published an interview with the very fictitious head of LexCorp, Alexander Luthor Jr., aka Lex Luthor. In the interview, the magazine asked about his current rivalry with other companies like Wayne Enterprises and Cord Industries, and also about their involvement in military technologies. Luthor said the following: "It's a necessity. We live in the most dangerous point of time in all of human history. Statistically speaking, it's a near certainty that another world-changing crisis is hurtling towards us like a speeding bullet. We have to be ready to defend ourselves. No civilization was ever conquered by having a strong military. But it's not a competition. Besides, I can't hold a candle to those guys in the debauched billionaire playboy department." Josh, did you get anything out of this interview with Lex Luthor?
Well, Mark. Okay, zing first on the speeding bullet. Second, the whole no countries have been conquered with a strong military, that's called history. Everybody had a strong military that was just conquered by a stronger military. That's besides the point. I read the whole interview. It was very short, kind of had a few little, like pokes at, as we're walking into Luthor, the young wonderkind, by his crystal collections of meteors. I'm like, all right.
Meteor crystal collection, that's right,
yeah. They don't mention anything about the haircut, but it's cool, I guess, but it doesn't give away anything from the movie, and I thought it was a little cheesy.
I gotta say, okay, first of all, obviously the speeding bullet reference we get there, the name drop of Cord Industries, of course. I'll say this about the Cord Industry thing. So he mentions Cord Industries, and we were talking about this in our pre-production meeting, but a lot of people online are saying, well, there you go, Blue Beetle's going to be in it. Blue Beetle's going to be around because they said Cord Industries. I just want to remind everybody, though, that in like the television universe, when Arrow and Flash, there have been, I count 4 or 5 references to Ferris Aviation. Which is, of course, in the Green Lantern world, right? There was a boxing match or a big sponsored by Ferris Aviation, or the Flash goes to some city and there's a big signpost with the city saying home of Ferris Aviation or something Ferris. Anyway, and I might be getting the name wrong, but you know what I'm talking about. Green Lantern's girlfriend owns an aviation company. So, and a lot of people back then said, oh, that means Green Lantern's going to show up. No, it could just be an Easter egg. Sometimes an Easter egg really is just an Easter egg. And maybe this Cord Industry thing means something. Maybe it's just an Easter egg. So let's not just get ahead of ourselves just yet about that. But who knows? Could mean something. This is the thing. To me, I'm with you exactly. With all the excerpts I read from the interview, what struck me was, first, when you heard that Forbes is doing an interview with Lex Luthor, cool idea.
Yeah.
Breaking the fourth wall, bringing the fictitious into the real, all that kind of stuff. That could be really cool. But you're right, it's fluff.
Yeah, it's fluff.
It felt to me like a missed opportunity to do something really, really cool.
Right.
Instead, honestly, it feels like it was written by a 12-year-old, and it didn't add anything. And I really hope, look, let's remember too, Batman v Superman is still 6 months away. I hope they don't start fatiguing us with too many marketing gimmicks and too much marketing crap.
All Sports Center the whole time. It's just like, this is the super play of the day.
Yeah, I mean, we could be fatigued by the time it comes around. Not that I've seen no other signs of that at all. This felt like it could have been cool. Instead, it felt like fluff to me. I didn't really get anything out of it.
And there's like a seasoned Wall Street Journal writer or Forbes writer, Fortune magazine writer. He's been all over the world, and his boss comes like, "We're gonna write a piece on Lex Luthor. You want to do it?" He's like, "Are you kidding me?" Fine.
Mark, what do you think about it?
Well, I'm sorry you 1%ers didn't enjoy your Fortune magazine. I thought this was cool. This is like, I like when they do marketing strategies like this. It's interesting. Is the movie way too far away to maybe be doing something like this? Because you're gonna be reading Fortune magazine on your lunch break at some fancy place like Panera, and you're gonna be flipping it, and then you're gonna forget
Turkey
about
Bravo.
it by like.
Have you ever seen somebody in Panera reading a Fortune magazine? Personally, I have not.
I read Fortune, I read Forbes, and Condé Nast.
Your
Thinking about where to
receipt is
travel.
long enough at Panera to be a Fortune magazine.
I think that this might be a little too early to do something like this because it plants a seed and then you forget about it by the time Star Wars comes out, and then you still got like 3 more months before Batman v Superman comes out. Yeah. Having said that, I think this is fun. I like the Blue Beetle reference. I think there is something to that. I don't think Blue Beetle's showing up in Batman v Superman, but it's nice to know that they are including that in in this universe cinematically. And the line about the debauched Playboy department, you look at Jesse Eisenberg's face, everything we've seen from him as Lex Luthor, there's a little bit of jealousy when you're talking about Bruce Wayne and when you're probably talking about this really sexy alien with a perfect chin. I think some of that is going to play into his mindset when he's taking on Batman and Superman.
Perfect chin. Have you seen his abs? Holy. But look, he's basically Facebook. He's the kid that couldn't get in the dinner clubs at Harvard. He's the kid that had to start a revolution of a social network in order to get friends. That's Lex Luthor. It was great casting, but that's basically what you're getting from this article. Is like, I'm a 31 guy. F Bruce Wayne and his stuff because he's a billionaire playboy. Like, that's what I got.
That was the original accent for the trailer, by the way. Not many people realize that. That was one other thing I had some people complaining to me about over Twitter was saying, because in that article he references his father, who apparently was also named Alexander, because he says LexCorp, my dad named it after himself. So he was, and Lex Luthor's name is actually Alexander Luthor Jr. So his dad. So I had a lot of. I'm not gonna say a lot. I had at least a dozen though, Facebook messages and tweets, and saying they obviously didn't watch Smallville because his dad's name isn't Alexander. It's like who still hasn't wrapped their head around that Smallville is not Superman?
Yeah.
That this isn't the
Who
real
sees
thing?
the Batman v Superman trailer? I didn't see Dean Cain anywhere in there.
Right.